it sometimes is not a cheap disease to have. You can't just go buy something in the drugstore and take it.
Before I was involved with neuroendocrine tumors, I had very little to do with insurance.
If you're a private patient, you need to be aware that there are types of insurance and know the type that you have. If you have a major medical coverage, as I had, I found that there were a great number of incidences where the billing codes either determined that I got paid or I got paid. The hospital got paid or the hospital didn't get paid.
It's going to help you immensely to talk to your insurance company ahead of time, talk to the doctors ahead of time, the hospitals, and determine exactly what's going to be paid and what isn't. Sometimes it's hard to do that when you don't feel good, but if it's at all possible, take 5 minutes beforehand and find out exactly what you're in for financially so that there aren't any surprises.
As a private insurance patient, I think it would be wise to read your policy from cover to cover.
So my advice is take notes, and take notes.
One of the things I discovered early on was that there was someone inside the insurance company called a nurse case manager. And she, although didn't know anything about neuroendocrine tumor, she understood some of the challenges that a cancer patient faces, both with the providers and with her own insurance company that she works for. And I found these nurse case managers to be great advocates for you inside the insurance company. And I found that bills got paid faster, treatments got approved quicker, and the whole process was much more streamlined.
But when I thought I was going to go back to work after I healed, the thought of combining all the medical decisions, all the doctor's appointments, all the paperwork, kind of interfered with teaching preschool and high school. I hesitantly applied for disability, and I was embarrassed because I had always given to those that were in need, and I didn't want to be needy. Because I had all my records, it was very easy to fill out because I could pull up the information out of my notebooks, and I was approved. I don't feel like I was in control until my paperwork was in order. It was like the cancer was taking over my life.
Keeping track of my disease involves doctor bills, involves insurance payments or non-payments. It involves keeping track of appointments.
Take very good notes. And when you're on the phone with either the doctor or the hospital or the insurance company, document with just some notes every single phone call that you make, who you talked to, what you talked about, what was agreed to, because it's amazing how many times you'll have to go back to that to say, well, I talked to this person and they agreed to do this.
So I make sure I get their name, and in case we get disconnected, could you please tell me what extension you're at? And I write the date down and then all the information they give me.
And maybe making phone calls, and they'll say, well, we'll let you know next week. And I said, okay, fine. Give me your name and phone number. I'll call you on Tuesday at 1 o'clock.
Sometimes it's really hard to even get the paperwork from the hospitals. You need to be persistent, and don't let one piece of paper sit at the hospital or the lab. You need to have a copy of it for your records, because it's you, it's your body.
I tried keeping a notebook, but that wasn't the best thing to do. I found that if you write the information on that bill that you're calling the hospital about or the insurance company about, then when you go back and refer to it, you've got it there.
We save the lab tests, we put them in file folders.
I have banker's boxes full of files.
So I have a stack of papers at home, and this was overwhelming. I didn't know what to do. I had a friend come over. I invested in a 3-hole punch and some notebooks and some dividers, and we punched everything out, and chronologically put everything in order. So insurance papers are in one folder, and I have many of those now, and lab work is in another folder. That has put peace of mind to me, that I can just pull something out and find what I need and not shuffle through papers and still can't find it.
If I ever have to go to the emergency room again, I have a folder that's sort of in my emergency file, and it has all the latest blood tests, it has all the latest MRIs. It has a book, a 150-page book written by a doctor about neuroendocrine tumor, so that I can walk into any emergency room and I can hand them a folder, and I don't have to worry too much about the doctor not knowing what he's supposed to do.
Sometimes in the process of getting what I want from the insurance company, you've got to do more than just talk to people. You've got to write to them. And you've got to know your subject. You've got to be somewhat clinical. You can't, when you talk to the insurance companies or when you write to the insurance companies, you can't be pleading with them. You've got to be factual. You've got to keep emotion out of it. And that's sometimes hard.
One of the things I've learned is that letters get read. Letters get read, phone calls get ignored, and voicemails get ignored even more. I had a patient email me just a couple of weeks ago where something was going on that just wasn't right. And with regard to the way she was being treated by a provider. And I said, you have to write a letter. And she said to me, well, I don't think I can do that. I'm not a letter writer. I said, you better learn, and you better learn pretty quick. And if you want, I'll send you a sample of something I wrote once before. And use it, plagiarize it, whatever you want. But this letter will get read and you will get action.
And then when you send it to them, you don't just send it to some clerk in an office, is you try and send it to the head of the group and with copies to other people so that when they get it in, they know that other people are going to get the same data and the same information, and they better look at it